Do you want to become fluent in Spanish or some other language? I'm going to help you cut the time that it would normally take to become fluent in that language in half. Yes, in half. I'm going to give you 4 activities to do. They're very simple, very easy. Anyone can do them and they cost no money. But you just need to decide, make up your mind that you're going to do this. But first, I want to talk to you about the one thing that can't be taught. And that's what's inside of you. But this is the thing that I've noticed, that all people who are fluent in a second language have become fluent in a second language. They weren't brought up speaking the 2 languages, but they actually started studying that language as an adult, or at least as an older teenager, let's say. And they became fluent in that second language. So how did they do it? What do we have in common? It's an attitude. It's a frame of mind. And that's the thing that I want you to think about, because it can be acquired. Maybe some people have it more than others, but you can acquire it. And that's the belief that you will do it. And no matter what people around you or society says, or even maybe your own reasoning or logic tells you that you can't become fluent, or people try to put you down or say you have a bad accent, or no, you can't learn that language unless you're born in the country or something like this. These are all falsehoods. You definitely can do it because millions of people are doing it all the time. You'll just be one more. You have to believe in yourself. Now, I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's true. Just think about it, make up your mind that you're going to do it, because that's what we all have in common that become fluent in a second language. We're just stubborn. We won't give up. We keep studying, and if one method just doesn't seem to be yielding many benefits, we try another. And that's what I tell all my students. Try everything. Find out what works for you. Try all the different apps and methods and programs out there, and different teachers too, until you find the one that you like. So book a class with me, because I know you'll like classes with me. The information's under the video. Please subscribe and like the video. And let's keep talking about how you're going to become fluent in Spanish or whatever your second language is much faster. So here's number 1. Besides changing that attitude and that frame of mind, number 1 is I put it as number 1 because it's the solid, it's the strongest, it's the best thing that you can possibly do, and that is to read out loud in Spanish for 30 minutes a day, or whatever language you're practicing. Now, it really works in Spanish and Italian because they're phonetic languages. In other languages, it can be more difficult, but if you're studying Spanish, and I'm sure most of you are, it's great because when you learn how to pronounce the letters correctly, if you take some classes with me, I will teach you how to pronounce all the letters and the combinations of them together, how to pronounce them properly. Then you can read out loud. And if you read out loud for 30 minutes every day as you're studying Spanish, but I would say for like 1 year, this is going to speed up the whole process. It's going to just make everything fall into place. You know, so many people when they're studying Spanish, they don't know if they should use masculine or feminine. Should they say por or para? There's 2 simple past tenses. One's called the imperfect and the other one's called the preterite. That's really hard for us as English speakers because we have them, but we don't identify them so easily. But all of these things that you have to do, the indicative or the subjunctive, that's later, it's a little more difficult topic. But all of these different things, you will be reading them every day for 30 minutes a day. Whether you understand them or not, you'll be reading them. But as you learn them and you become more cognizant of how they work and how you should use them, you will have been reading them every day for weeks and days and months. And it will be automatic. The way you speak your mother tongue, probably for a lot of you, that's English. You do a lot of things in English that are complicated for people studying English, and you just do it because it sounds right. Well, that's what's going to happen with Spanish when you start reading it out loud for 30 minutes a day. You don't have to understand everything you're reading. Just try to find something that's similar to conversational Spanish. You don't want to read anything technical. Don't use a newspaper. Don't use anything from work. Find something that's kind of casual and conversational, maybe a novel or short stories. And I'll have some links for some books that I recommend that you can use for that under the video. Number 2, take one paragraph out of whatever you're reading and just copy that paragraph into a notebook. Try to copy it maybe 3 or 4 or 5 words at a time. Don't just copy one word at a time. Try to keep in your short-term memory, maybe 3, 4, 5, however many words you can remember after you've read them. You know, just go like this, use a couple of words at a time in chunks like this, and just do a paragraph each day. This is going to help you to build up the muscle memory of writing, of spelling and writing Spanish. Believe me, all of these work together because we retain language in different parts of our brain. It's not all just stored in one place. They found this from people who have brain damage, that when they had to check and stimulate different parts of the brain, it would affect different aspects of the language. Sometimes, depending on the brain damage, they could read the language, but they couldn't speak it, or they could speak it, but they couldn't read it, or they could write it, but they couldn't read it, like different. It showed us that language is stored in different parts of the brain. And that's why your mother tongue is so strong, because you've stimulated all those parts. Well, we need to stimulate all those parts with your second language. And that's what we're doing here with these activities. So number 1, read out loud 30 minutes a day. Number 2, copy 1 paragraph. Number 3, take out your dictionary, look up and identify all the words in that paragraph that you don't know. I prefer to use like a colored pen or something, a red pen, circle it, underline it, and then look it up. I did all of these activities I'm telling you about. This is what made the whole process for me with my Spanish speed up. And it was palpable. It was noticeable. My Spanish-speaking friends started to say, "Wow, what are you doing? You're speaking Spanish so much better." And it's a big difference. They could see the difference in the way I was starting to speak the language. Before that, I was speaking slowly and haltingly, and now everything was just falling into place, and I was speaking much more smoothly. And it never reverted since then. It's always been something positive. So look up the words. You need to build your vocabulary. So number 3, looking up the words in that paragraph each day, it's going to build up your vocabulary. You need to have a lot of vocabulary. Know as many words as you can. And if you're looking up words every single day, you just make it a habit. Even if you only remember, say, 60% or even 50% of the words you look up every day, if you do that for a year, you're going to be a powerhouse of vocabulary by the end of the year, even if you don't have necessarily a great memory. So just do that one. Number 4 is to watch something in Spanish, a video, a telenovela, that's a soap opera, a movie or whatever, a series or some podcasts or something, but you want to watch something every day in Spanish. It's best if it's originally in Spanish, and watch it with no subtitles. For this activity, watch it with no subtitles because you need to stimulate that part of the language, the listening part, and that goes to a different part of your brain. If you're reading the subtitles while they're speaking, you think you're getting more because the subtitles are helping you, but they're only a crutch. They're helping you, but they're making you weak in the long run. Your listening skills will never develop. I did this myself. In the beginning, I started watching telenovelas, soap operas in Spanish. I couldn't understand a single word for like 2 days straight. But I finally started to understand. It was like one word here, one word there, and then it started to come together. It was a slow, painful process, but it was like my ears just started opening up to Spanish. You need to do that. Turn off the subtitles so that you can let your brain and your hearing of the language develop. You need to do this. This is true with any language that you're trying to acquire. When you learned English, there were no subtitles, and now you're perfectly fluent in English or whatever your first language is. Now, I want to mention one more, and that is I recommend using the app Pimsleur.com. I'm not going to recommend using my affiliate link for that because I know you can find it online much better at a much better price. It's really a great deal. I've used it for French and for Russian, and Pimsleur is fantastic because it's a purely spoken method where you're listening and then you're speaking. You can get it for something like $20 or $22 a month if you're in the States for most languages. That's a great deal. And then you can just you can do a different lesson every day, or you can do multiple lessons every day. You can repeat them, but they're basically speaking to you and teaching you how to pronounce and speak that language. I really like that one. I strongly recommend it. Please think about booking a class with me. I know you're going to be successful in Spanish or whatever your second language is. If you're just get stubborn, get determined, you can do it. Please subscribe. And if you like the video, hit that like button. Just remember that millions of people speak Spanish fluently, and you will too.